Hey y'all, I'm James Wright. Welcome to my shop. I wanted to show you today a little bit of something I've been kind of experimenting with and playing with, and that's actually carving in my hand tools. And I've really kind of been enjoying doing this recently. It's something that I've just kind of picked up doing. Now I have to preface all this by saying, number one, I am not an accomplished wood carver. This is something I've just recently started doing. I've really only done about a dozen or so pieces right now. And I just want to say that not to say, don't listen to me, but to say you can do this too. It is really not something that's difficult. It is fairly simple once you understand a few basic principles. And I just wanted to share with you the joy of carving into something, and especially with the hand tools. This has just kind of been an amazing joy for me, and something I've just the actual process of it is a blast to do. And it may take me a little longer, but I find that it is well worth my time. So I just wanted to go through a quick tutorial on how I made this Celtic weave. Most of the carving I've been doing so far is Celtic weave. I've done a few lettering subjects and things like that, but this is what I've really been enjoying, and I kind of like this pattern on a lot of my work. So check it out. So let me show you the tools needed to do the carving. Number one, what you're carving. I have a paper pattern that I just printed out to the approximate size I'm looking for. Scissors to cut the pattern, glue to apply the pattern with, and then for the actual cutting, I have a small gouge. Purchased this a while ago. It's dirt cheap. I think I got it from Harbor Freight. It's kind of like Aldi in Europe. A 3mm chisel. Just the straight chisel. It's really all I need to use for this. A carving knife. I really love this little one. Just kind of a good all-around carving knife. I use an exacto knife from time to time, and then a smoothing plane. And that's really all that's needed. 90% of the work is done with a carving mallet and the straight chisel. So let's get on to that. So I like to have the work in a vise. I find that the easiest. I used to freehand my own pattern and draw it on the surface. I don't like that as much anymore. So now what I do is actually cut it out of paper. So I just do a simple cutout and apply that on. So for the work for applying it, I actually just use a simple Elmer's glue stick. Stole it from the kids' art supply. And once I've given it a chance to dry, I can start to carve in. And basically what I want is the inside of these lines to be raised and the outside to be about a 45-degree angle. So if I'm cutting this line here, I want it to, on this side, slope down that way, and on this side, slope down that way. So I'm going to choose the chisel I want, put it right on the inside of the line, and put it about 45 degrees and just slide in, just pop it in. And I'm going to go all the way along all these straight lines with this on any line that is at this particular angle. And I'll go all the way along on that particular angle, and then I'll move 45 degrees and hit all at this angle, and then I'll move 45 degrees and hit all at this angle, and then last I'll move 45 degrees, hit all at this angle. So that'll give me all the straight edges. So let me finish that and I'll show you the next. So once I've done all the straight edges, now I need to start doing all the curved edges. And basically this is doing one pass all the way around the outside, and then one pass all the way around each of these little triangles, or at least on the outside of each of these triangles. And I like to do the little triangles first and then finish up by going all the way around the outside. So in order to do those, I actually have to be working around each one. So this chisel will go all the way around there and then all the way around there, and so I'm constantly moving around the piece, making sure at my angle. When I come to these, I'm just coming around this way. Now if you want to, you can use a gouge, but trying to make it at a 45-degree angle, oops, sorry about that. Trying to make it at a 45-degree angle back, I find a little bit difficult with the gouge, and I like to just use the corner of the straight chisel and work my way around with that. Unless it's a really tight corner, I find this works just well. So let me start with here. Oop. Actually, I need to switch angle. So let's start here. You could actually do this entire lining part with a knife. I like chisels for some reason. I'm very at home with them. So now the intention is to remove the spaces in between. So I want to keep the lines, or the rope itself, in a stagnant place. And I just come in at that same 45 and wiggle down a little bit and take out a chip. Now here you have to be very careful because the tendency is to push through. And if you push through, then suddenly you run right through your rope on the other side. So I like to just set it in place. Take the chisel mallet, hold it like this, and it just provides a little bit of force. This is far more controllable than just pushing with your hand. I think that the biggest problem for me is just wanting to take off too much, too fast. I'm really just going down between a 32nd and a 16th deep. Just taking the surface off, taking my time, just going to the stop cut and cleaning out the spaces. Now, so far, I'm not cleaning any of these gaps out. I'm just leaving them rough and uneasy. I find it's just good to mark things out and take it a step at a time, and that allows you to then come back and clean it up a little bit later. Now that we have all of these middle areas removed, we need to actually then remove a little bit around the outside all the way around. And I do this by eye. I just come at it the opposite. So I've already cut in 45 degrees going out from the outside of the rope. Now I'm going to cut back in 45 degrees from the inside of the rope. And I just bring it back about 1/8 of an inch and just put a slight cut in at about 45 degrees around each side. Next step for me though is the rope pattern. The ropes weave over each other. So any rope that goes under another needs to have their sides cut so that they look like they're going underneath. So each one of these have an end. I just take them out of 45 and I will trim up the two ends that are supposed to go underneath the other one. And so one by one I will go through each of these, trim them back to a 45, and I like to do all of them from one angle first. So now you can really start to see this pattern come out once you cut those ropes in. And from this point on, it's pretty much just cleaning it up. So once I've taken that through, then I want to start cleaning up all these squares. So these squares in the middle are actually some of the easiest, and I just like to wiggle the chisel and kind of give it a flat bottom. Okay, now that I've basically cleaned out the inside flats, I'm going to start cleaning out the lines. And so I'm going to go all the way around the outside first, mostly with the carving knife, sometimes with the exacto. And I'm just going to clean out this outside groove a little bit. It's a little bit of whittling, and so you kind of get to play with your hands. But be careful, knives like to slip, and when they slip, they take fingers. So now that I've gone through and I've outlined on both sides of each of the ropes, that really gives me a chance to check through things and make sure that I've gotten everything that I want. And pretty much this is done, except for just kind of smoothing it out. There's always a few splinters and rough spots. This one feels pretty good, but I want to clean it up a little bit more. So what I'll do is take the smoothing plane, and this is going to kill a lot of people because I already have a wax finish on here, but oh well. I'm just going to take a smooth off the other side. This is going to do two things. Number one, any of the pencil marks that were put on there from earlier, or any of the paper that was left glued on there, disappears. And it's also just going to clean up that surface and give it a little bit smoother. Some people might want to put a little bit of sandpaper in through there, but I'm not a big fan of that. And you just come through and clean out any of the little debris that likes to fit in there. And that's pretty much it. Then it's on to boiled linseed oil and paste wax, just like before, and it's done. So I'll do the boiled linseed oil and let you take a look at it. So that is the Celtic weave pattern that I've been doing on a lot of the tools recently. I also have done the Celtic Trinity and some freehand weaving, as well as just this up the handle of the hatchet I've done some letter carving, but it's all pretty much the exact same process of what I've done so far. The first time I did it was just to kind of experiment, and I was blown away with how much fun it actually was. I made a horrible mess, and it didn't look all that awesome, but the next one looked a lot better, and the next one looked a lot better, and these last two, I'm really happy with how they came out. I am unbelievably impressed. This particular time, these two took me about 45 minutes each. I'm sure with a little more practice I can get it down to around 30 minutes. The very first one I did was a little less than an hour, so I mean, how much would you pay to have someone do that in a hand tool that you have? I think that is time well spent, and an enjoyable time. It's something that you'll look back at this tool and remember doing that, and something you'll love for the rest of your life. I really just want to encourage people that this isn't out of your reach. This is something that anyone can do. It is really simple as long as you learn the steps. Make your stop cuts and then remove the waste. And it's just following that step after step, and the more you do it, the more you learn little things about it. And jumping in really is the best first step. I hope you like this. This has really been an experiment and learning for me, and I'm sure that the comments below will be completely full of tips and other things that you can learn for how to do it better. I am by no means accomplished at this, and there are a lot of people out there who know this far better. So if you have any guidance for me or things I could do better, please let me know. I would love to hear that. If you want to learn more about the topic, then just look at the comments below. I'm sure soon they will fill up with a lot of great ideas. So that's about it for today. If you like it, please let me know. Feel free to hit the like button or subscribe if you really like it. And feel free to check out one of my other videos. Till next time, have a wonderful day.